Many investors assume that waterfront automatically means premium performance, while in reality, some waterfront properties quietly underperform for years. Here is the mistake: investors treat waterfront as single asset class, while it's not. Waterfront is a spectrum. And in this video, I want to show you how to read it like a strategist, not a tourist. Because proximity to water does not always equal scarcity. Sometimes it simply means there is a lot of water. When investors hear waterfronts, the brain immediately prices a premium. But water alone does not create value. Water or city of water plus global destination magnet. If water is the only driver, risk rises dramatically. Let's break down the 4 major waterfront categories every serious investor should understand with real examples. Let's start from the most investment resilient type. I call it urban waterfront. This is where water meets a real city. Not a backdrop, not a resort, but part of the urban fabric. The key signals of that category: people here live all year round. A real local economy exists. Restaurants are not only dependent on tourists. There is strong infrastructure, offices, schools nearby. These locations rarely die. Why? Because cities are permanent demand engines. Global examples: Vancouver, one of the strongest waterfront markets in the world. Sydney Harbour, a near-perfect integration of water and CBD. Hafen City in Hamburg attracted institutional capital precisely because of its urban nature. And in Dubai, I can name Dubai Marina and Creek Harbour. The pattern is simple: when the city grows, the waterfront grows with it. The next waterfront category is so-called destination waterfront, when the magnet works. These are the places people travel to intentionally, not on the way, but especially for that location. And when the destination has gravity, assets can outperform dramatically. Perfect example of this category is Porto Montenegro, almost a textbook case. Why it works? Porto Montenegro features a world-class super yacht Marina. It has a strong international reputation, established boating community, tax attractiveness, and growing expat base. This is not just a pretty promenade, it's an Adriatic yachting hub. Huge difference. By the way, if you don't know, in Dubai they replicated Porto Montenegro in Jumeirah 1 area, and it's called Port de la Mer. But here is the nuance: Porto Montenegro is evolving from destination into something even stronger, a hybrid urban destination waterfront. That is a powerful position. Property assets in this category often perform very well over long horizons. Other strong destination examples are Costa Smeralda in Sardinia. It is an ultra-trophy destination. Famous Lake Como, driven by scarcity and legacy wealth. People don't buy primarily for yield here. They buy to store the capital. Category number 3, I would call resort waterfront. This is an investor trap. Beautiful, Instagrammable, perfect marketing, but structurally weak. Why? Seasonal life, tourism-driven economy, lower liquidity. These markets depend heavily on visitor flows rather than permanent demand. Typical example would be Marina resort nodes across the Caribbean or master-planned coastal zones in Egypt. Those are not bad assets, but lifestyle-heavy, flow-dependent, not always scarcity-driven. That's what some investors call postcard investing. You see the marina, you fall in love, you buy, then reality appears. You end up living there 4 weeks per year, the property sits empty, rental income disappoints. There is even an industry phrase for it: aspirational investor trap. Harsh, but often accurate. Do you think Marjan Island in Ras Al Khaimah has the potential to become a seasonal waterfront? Write your thoughts in the comments. Category number 4 follows a different financial logic. I call it trophy waterfront. This category is not about yield at all. It is about wealth storage, legacy assets, and prestige. Prices hold not because of ROI, but because ultra-wealthy owners rarely sell. Let's name some examples that everybody knows about. Monaco, one of the strongest waterfront markets globally. Miami prime waterfront, where scarcity is mathematical. No one is creating more coastline. So the institutional insight, you can write this down. The mistake investors make usually is assuming proximity to water equals scarcity. It doesn't. Let's have a look at the case study. A As an example, I took Fishing Lodge Cana in Dominican Republic because I came across this YouTube video about it. Fishing Lodge Cana is situated approximately 10 minutes drive from the international airport. It provides convenient access to nearby beaches, adventure parks, and golf courses, making it an ideal destination for both relaxation and recreation. Then why does it look like the entire area got extinct? Where are other people? Well, the thing is that Fishing Lodge is not a bad investment, but it's a very specific type of investment. It behaves more like a lifestyle holding than an aggressive return vehicle. Most confusion comes from misunderstanding this. Problem number one about it is that rental income is less predictable. Demand in marina villages is typically seasonal, tourism sensitive, tied up to US economy, without strong year-round urban demand. Therefore, income can fluctuate. For investors used to city assets, this can be a surprise. Second problem is that liquidity is lower than it appears. These projects sell beautifully, but resale can take time. Your buyer pool is niche, international, lifestyle-driven. This is not a business district apartment bought for yield. It's often an emotional purchase, and emotions move in cycles. Strong investment is when your property appeals to both international and local buyers, investors and end users, which is not the case for this example. The next problem is oversupply, the hidden risk of the Caribbean. Resort regions often expand aggressively. New condos, new villas, new clusters. As long as foreign demand flows, everything looks strong. But when similar products flood the market, prices may stagnate for years. Not a collapse, just stand still. Classic resort behavior. Problem number 4, ecosystem dependency. Fishing Lodge is a part of the massive Cana master plan. Its value depends heavily on regional reputation, infrastructure, tourism, air connectivity, continued development. This is not a self-sustaining urban asset. It's an ecosystem bet. Some investors intentionally target assets like this. Their strategy is different. Long-term horizon, dollar exposure, lifestyle plus asset combination, limited coastline. This is closer to wealth parking than speculation. And neither approach is wrong, as long as the expectations match the reality. So the smartest question you can ask, not what is the yield, ask instead, who will buy this from me in 7 to 10 years span? If the answer is clear, the asset is healthy. If not, it's risky. A very professional observation, resort marinas almost always split into two groups. Iconic destinations, those are price resilient, and pleasant but replaceable, vulnerable to competition. The core investment question is always, does this place have destination gravity? Do people travel here intentionally, or is just another beautiful coastline? The final thought, Fishing Lodge is not a bad investment, it simply requires the right ecology. It's not a cash flow machine, it's a hybrid lifestyle asset. And when the expectations align with the asset, investors are satisfied. When they don't, disappointment begins. Here is what separates sophisticated investors from emotional buyers. They don't ask, would I love to spend time here? They ask, does the master plan actually make sense? Because real estate success is rarely about the beauty. It is about asset behavior. If this video changed the way you look at waterfront investments, subscribe. Because on this channel, we don't chase marketing narratives. We analyze real estate the way capital does. Thanks for watching. If you want me to analyze a particular waterfront project in Dubai, let me know in the comments, and see you soon.